Hi, I'm John Snell. The World's Fair is coming, and Channel 4 Eyewitness News has put together this booklet just for you. It's called Fair Advantage because that's what it gives you, information to help you prepare for the fair. Inside, you'll find maps to show you how to avoid the traffic or ways to go when you're headed for the fair. There's even a section on what to see and do when you get there. You can't buy it, though. It's free at participating New Orleans area shell dealers. So pick up your copy today. Channel 4 wants you to have a fair advantage.
Lea Sinclair.
And I'm Eric Paulsen. Welcome to PM Magazine. Tonight we're at Scout Island in City Park, where you can see behind us there's some kids from the Metairie Park Country Day Lower School reenacting the adventures of LaSalle here in Louisiana.
Now, LaSalle founded Louisiana back in 1682, and in doing so, he traveled down the Mississippi in a canoe. And as you can see, all of these kids are having the same experience.
And they're having a lot of fun out here. We'll show you more later in the program. Also, they're spending the night out here at Scout Island and kind of doing the same things that LaSalle did.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Let's take a look at what's coming up on our show tonight.
In most beauty pageants, you usually don't remember the first runner-up, but this one will be hard to forget. Tonight we're gonna make it happen. Suzette Charles is making it happen. Tonight on PM Magazine, meet the young woman who was almost Miss America and is fast on her way to becoming a star.
Then, is this the burial cloth of Jesus Christ? On tonight's PM Magazine, you'll explore one of the greatest mysteries of all time, the Shroud of Turin.
And some people call this vandalism, others call it art. Now it's out of the streets and into high-class galleries. Where do you think it belongs?
Eric, I think one of the best ways to gain experience is by doing. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, I think experience is the best teacher.
That's exactly what these kids are doing. And tonight we're going to meet another girl who is learning by doing.
All right.
She almost became Miss America. As a matter of fact, she became a runner-up. And nowadays she's very glad for that reason because she is becoming a big star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tropicana is proud to present Miss New Jersey, Suzette Charles.
Surprisingly enough, I wanted to be a secretary. Performing has basically become natural to me. It's become more of an excitement. My adrenaline just starts to run, and I just can't wait to get out and just feel this high that you get on stage.
Tonight we're gonna make it happen. Tonight we'll put all other things aside.
For most of her 21 years, Suzette Charles has dreamed of becoming a star, performing on stage, singing in nightclubs around the world, and appearing with major celebrities. Now, that dream is beginning to happen faster than anyone expected.
I just can't get enough, and if you move too slow, I let it go. I'm so excited.
Suzette's meteoric rise to fame shouldn't surprise anyone. She's been in the public spotlight for the last 13 years now, in everything from baby parades to beauty pageants. But it wasn't until September 17th of last year that she received national attention.
The first runner-up and winner of a $15,000 scholarship is Suzette Charles, Miss New Jersey.
In the Miss America pageant, no one seems to remember the first runner-up, but coming in second hasn't made Suzette a loser. In fact, she says the pageant has opened doors for her.
At first it was awkward. Everyone saying you did very good. We were rooting for you. I did my best. It wasn't in my hands. It was in the judges' hands. When you try to explain, I guess it's worked out for the best for me. My career moves, I can do them, whereas Miss America has to wait a year to do all of her other side interests.
Suzette's title as Miss New Jersey and her growing demands as an entertainer result in a schedule that never seems to slow down. She is constantly on the road making personal appearances. This day she traveled to the state capitol to sing the national anthem before a joint session of the legislature.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Whether it's singing for the legislature or singing on stage, Suzette loves to perform, and she has her sights set on nothing less than superstardom. No one has more faith in her success than Charles and Suzette DiGaetano. They are her parents and her business managers. She is black, he is Italian, a combination Suzette says too many people find unusual, but a business relationship that she finds perfectly natural.
We've always been very close like this. I think it's just a natural progression. And you can't trust anyone else more than your parents, and I know they're not going to take me for granted or steal all my money and run and all that. So I trust them, and it works out just fine.
Well, let's get excited. Just can't hide it. No, no, no. 'Cause I'm about to lose control and I think I like it, yeah.
I just met a couple friends the other day, and they started to talk to me, and they said, "You don't seem like the same person."
I know, I want you.
They just saw all this media attention. Your name is all over, your picture's in the papers. We don't know how to talk to you anymore. I'm the same, I didn't change. But it's just all the way everything is built up. People are starting to, you know, feel funny.
Oh, I said I want to love you and feel you. Wanna wrap myself around you. Wanna squeeze you, please you. I just can't get enough. And if you move, please love, I let it go. I let it go. I'm so excited.
I mean, things are starting to snowball. I didn't realize they would happen so fast. But if you're prepared initially, no matter how fast anything happens, you're ready to handle the challenge.
And I just can't hide it. No, no, no. I want you. I said I want you. Oh, I want you. I'm so excited.
Suzanne should have her own album out in the near future. Coming up next, Graffiti That Is Art.
Now at Shoney's, our sirloin strip steak dinner. A 10-ounce USDA choice sirloin strip steak, charbroiled to your order, with bone-in for extra taste. Served with golden French fries, plus fresh fruit in season, tasty salads, and homemade soup from our famous soup and salad bar. Shoney's sirloin strip steak dinner. What a meal. What a deal.
Shoney's, America's dinner table.
Buy one swivel rocker, get one free at John F. Lawhon's. Buy one recliner, get one free at John F. Lawhon's. Buy one recliner, get one free at John F. Lawhon's. Buy one wall recliner, get one free at John F. Lawhon's. Many styles of famous Kraler recliners, wall recliners, rockers, and swivel rockers in nylon or Herculon fabric. Buy one, get the second absolutely free. Hurry, offer ends Saturday 9 p.m. Budget terms available at John F. Lawhon's.
Just for the fun of it, just for the heck of it, just for the taste of it, Diet Coke. Just for the style of it, just for the thrill of it, the real cold the taste of it, Diet Coke. Just for the joy of it, just for the just for the fun of it, Diet Coke. Just for the look of it, from Coca-Cola, just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
Sing along every day with the animals at your new Audubon Zoo.
PM Magazine.
This is Reed Lewis, who is playing LaSalle, and I guess this is a great experience for all these kids. What are they learning out here?
Well, it's beautiful that they're able to get into the skin of the 17th century voyageurs, those men who paddled the canoes with LaSalle, and really feel what it was like 300 years ago.
Now, what would LaSalle think about all this?
Well, I think we would have to ask LaSalle. You know, when I first came here 300 years ago, for me, I see this great possibility of creating a new civilization, and that was my dream. And I am so happy to see in the young people today that they are not afraid to try new things and live out their dreams and take that spirit of doing things one step at a time.
So they look at LaSalle as a big hero.
Well, of course I'm a big hero. You know, I'm the father of the whole Mississippi Valley.
Anyway, LaSalle, would you like to go to New York City?
I would not be interested. All the dirt and the graffiti on the walls, that does not interest me.
Well, the city spent a whole lot of money getting the graffiti off the walls, out of the subways, but now they're moving it into the museums because it's considered an art form, and we have a story about it.
Fantastic.
This is the latest thing to hang on your walls and wear on your clothes. Graffiti is definitely in.
But is it art? Well, according to the people who are supposed to know about these things, it is art. Quite valuable art, in fact. Consider this. Collectors are plunking down $4,000 to $8,000 for graffiti murals done by the kings of New York City graffiti.
Meet Zephyr, Eero, and Futura 2000. These fellows are cult heroes in the street chic trend, a wave that's carrying breakdancing, rap music, and graffiti art from the streets to the big time. Patty Astor's New York Fun Gallery is devoted exclusively to graffiti art.
And I think just at the moment, the New York graffiti is really hit. There's a lot of graffiti writers in New York. I'd say there's easily 10,000.
If 10,000 people armed with spray paint are on the loose, it's no wonder New York spends millions of dollars cleaning it up. And for the artists, standing out from a crowd that size isn't easy.
I've never been like the rest of the guys. You know, that's one of the things that keeps me very much apart from the rest of the bunch, is that when you look at my work, you know it's Futura's work, and you know it's not that of, let's say, your average, you know, graffiti kid from the block, you know.
Futura 2000, taking his name from an old Ford, began his career in high school.
Many of my friends at this point were, one, drug abusers, two, gang members, three, graffiti writers. So from the choice I had, you know, from my peer group, I felt graffiti was the best route for me.
Some graffiti artists find this route profitable as well. Futura has sold more than 30 paintings and created album graphics for the rock group The Clash. And Zephyr, borrowing his name from a surfboard, drew an animated film for MTV. But in spite of his legal success, he still feels compelled to paint graffiti on the subways.
What I most look forward to is my next trip back to the train yards, actually, because there's energy down there, like a certain spine-tingling satisfaction that just can't really be gotten anywhere else. It's nice, on the other hand, to be able to take your time in a situation like this, but there's just something that's down there, you know, whether it's the smell of the trains or just like getting dirty one more time, that I think for me, I have to stay in touch with that. For one thing, that's where I come from.
Eero, an acronym for Ever Rocking On, is the youngest Fun Gallery artist. Now 17, he started graffiti writing to gain name recognition, street fame.
That's, I think, how graffiti starts for everybody. They want to see their name up there, too.
But is graffiti outside a gallery still art, or is it urban blight? Eero, Futura, and Zephyr are a minority. Many of their peers face legal prosecution. The people in graffiti art circles speak nostalgically about the golden days of graffiti in the late 60s. While realizing that the current interest may be temporary, they all retain high hopes for an outlaw art form that has placed one tentative foot in mainstream culture.
Well, I'm hoping that I'll be a famous artist, you know. Or if not that, I'm just going to school to learn, you know, get an education in case this doesn't go good.
I firmly believe that a lot of the artists that I work with have major talents and will be able to continue their careers. I certainly plan to help them do so.
Coming up next, we have a fascinating story. LaSalle, tell them what it is.
It will be the Shroud of Turin.
Very good.
Here, Daddy.
Introducing the new and improved Fruit and Cereal Lover cereal, Post Raisin Bran.
This is delicious. The raisins are plumper.
Now, Post packs 3 packs of even plumper raisins in every box.
Flakes are bigger and crisper.
And bigger, crisper flakes, too.
Delicious.
plumper raisins and crisper flakes from Post Raisin Bran, the fruit and cereal lover cereal.
I knew you'd like it.
Progrès Plus from Lancôme, a proven challenge to wrinkles, an achievement of the Lancôme science of skincare. Progrès Plus has the proven capacity to diminish wrinkles. When used daily, it creates a barrier to help offset signs of aging. Progrès Plus from Lancôme, Paris. Its promise comes true.
Progrès Plus, one of 6 Lancôme beauty pleasures in Le Carrier Marché collection. Just $15.50 with any Lancôme purchase. You'll find it at Gaucho Stores, New Orleans, Edgewater Plaza.
Watch closely. The proof is right before your eyes. New improved HTH Dry Chlorinator leaves less residue than ever before. So there's less work, less vacuuming, and cleaner, clearer, brighter pool water every day. Because new improved HTH is specially formulated, it leaves less residue. To get water so clear, it's startling.
New improved HTH. Water so clear, it's startling.
The facts make Kentwood spring water your best buy. Fact, there is a difference between spring water and purified water. Purified water is water that starts with impurities. Kentwood spring water, naturally salt-free, is untouched with only the minerals nature gave it. Fact, the minerals in Kentwood spring water are good for you. They also give Kentwood its great taste. So consider what's good for you, naturally. Kentwood spring water really is your best buy.
Right now I'm with the kindergarten, first and second grade classes of the Metairie Park Country Day Lower School. And can you tell me why you're here today?
We're reenacting LaSalle.
Okay, what does that mean? Who is LaSalle?
LaSalle, he was a man who traveled all the way down to Mississippi.
Okay, what are you doing today to reenact that?
We're doing all kind of activities like he did. We're eating what he did. We're doing all that kind of stuff.
What was it like for LaSalle when he came down the Mississippi?
Sometimes he had a real hard time. He had to, when he came to frozen rivers, he had to put his canoes on his back.
Oh, goodness, that sounds like he had a tough time. And what are you eating?
Gorp.
What is gorp?
It's mixed with bananas and raisins and peanuts and M&M's.
That sounds pretty healthy. Is that the kind of thing LaSalle would have eaten?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, right now we are going to break away for a minute and see a story about the mysterious Shroud of Turin. Is the faint image of man the image of Christ? Tonight we'll look at the latest discoveries concerning that shroud.
The people of the city of Torino in northern Italy consider themselves blessed because it's here, raised over an immaculate altar, that the Holy Shroud of Turin is kept. For over 2,000 years, artists have attempted to create a likeness of Christ. Although many believe they were divinely inspired, there is no actual photograph of Christ. Or is there? According to some, the Shroud of Turin is Christ's actual burial cloth, and on that shroud is a negative image of Christ himself. Centered on a 14 by 3 foot stretch of linen, carefully protected from the light, is a life-size outline of a man who has been beaten and crucified.
I don't think, if you compare the circumstantial evidence, it could be anyone else. Crowned with thorns, pierced in the side, scourged, legs unbroken. Very definitely wears the hairstyle of a Jew at the time of Jesus.
6 years ago, American Ken Stevenson, as part of a special international research team, traveled to Turin to investigate the shroud.
In my opinion, the shroud is either the genuine burial cloth of Jesus or the most incredible forgery we've ever seen.
Today, Ken Stevenson, author and lecturer, looks a little different, but his goal to spread interest in the shroud has not changed.
The Shroud of Turin is a unique burial cloth. Unlike any of the tens of thousands of burial linens, it's got an image on it, and it's a rather different image. Negative, three-dimensional, superficial, no pigment or dyes associated with it, human blood, but with enough characteristic data for us to conclude that it is a human burial cloth, and that there was a man in it, and that he was crucified, and that he's 30 to 35 years of age. It's so interesting because when science gets involved in analyzing the shroud, all of our modern science comes up at a dead end, okay? We know what it's not. We cannot tell you how the image was formed. And to a scientist, that's absolutely unacceptable. You're inevitably drawn to the possibility that the event described as the resurrection on Easter Sunday morning is somehow wrapped up in this image on the cloth. Now, science can't get into that. That's a religious question.
Recently, the legal owner of the shroud, King Umberto, died, and in his will left the shroud to the Vatican. If the Pope takes possession, it'll be the first time the shroud has been owned by a church, and it was believed it would be moved from Turin. Upon hearing this news, 60,000 citizens of Turin petitioned the Pope to keep the shroud in Turin because they loved it so much. The Pope's decision? To make the people of Turin custodians of the cloth. For now, the shroud endures as one of the greatest mysteries of the religious world and of the scientific world. In the end, any final conclusions will center around what you believe and what you don't believe.
Louisiana has large and small banks. They're local and totally independent, and they know the people in their community, serving them with understanding and compassion. But if multi-banking passes in the legislature, a few big city banks will own and control all of our banks. Louisiana's financial power will rest in a few hands, some of them on Wall Street. Don't let it happen to your town. Ask your legislator to vote against multi-banking for your hometown.
Some people think Mercedes is the Cadillac of luxury cars, which is interesting considering a Mercedes 380 SEC costs nearly twice as much to drive in a year as a Cadillac Seville. And Mercedes repair bills? Oh, what I could buy for that. Paying twice as much to drive a luxury car when there's Cadillac? Well, after all, the smart money is on Cadillac.
Get the facts about Cadillac from your Cadillac salesperson at your Coastal Cadillac dealer.
Most runners only exercise their legs. Run with Heavy Hands and exercise your whole body.
They're not just for runners.
Heavy Hands' system of precision balance weights is uniquely designed to fit comfortably onto your hands.
I walk with Heavy Hands.
I dance with Heavy Hands.
Regular exercise with Heavy Hands builds strength, energy, and stamina. Uses up more calories than any other system of exercise. Get Heavy Hands and build yourself a great body.
These vinyl granules are the start of an extraordinary Armstrong process that results in a floor unlike any other. Designer Solarium. Its color isn't just printed on. That's for ordinary floors. This is the depth, richness, and lasting beauty of Designer Solarium. The only no-wax floor with the uniquely crafted look of inlaid color.
I always knew it was something special.
Armstrong. So nice to come home to.
Tonight at 10, an update on a bombing attack in London and the cleanup progress along I-10 in New Orleans East.
Behind me, the kids are sitting around a make-believe campfire with their leader, LaSalle, and they're enacting a skit. We'll show you more of that at the end of the show. Now, our last story tonight is about an inventor. His name is Brooks Walker, and if you don't know him, you may be familiar with some of his inventions. They're things that are used around the house, the yard, or even your car. Now, he's been working on a 5-wheeled car for some time now, but just can't seem to get it sold. Tonight, he has a buyer, our own Bob Sarlott. He'll get behind the wheel and take it for a spin.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why does this car have 5 wheels? And even better, what in the world is this? Hi, I'm Bob Sarlott, and tonight we're going to meet an inventor who, among other things, would like to see us all driving 5-wheel cars.
Meet Brooks Walker, inventor. At age 82, he has 220 patents to his credit. He has more good ideas in a day than most of us have in a year.
If I was a painter and had made as much money as I have inventing, I'd be quite famous, I think.
So Oh, this is the old workshop, huh, Brooks?
That's right.
Boy, looks kind of a little security conscious, I would think.
Brooks has patents on everything from heavy-duty security locks to luggage with wheels. Some of his inventions are in common use, like an anti-smog device that's in every car built since 1970. Then there are his other inventions, the bizarre ones.
First of all, Brooks, what is this?
This is in all of your dictionaries. It's called a caltrop, C-A-L-T-R-O-P. And Napoleon used it against the cavalry or against the barefooted enemy.
During the Second World War, Brooks adapted this idea to a device that punctured airplane tires. The Allies dropped these things on enemy airfields to keep fighter planes grounded. But
the enemy could pick it up and use it against us, and it made a very great problem about tire supply, but it was very effective.
When one of his ideas falls flat, the last thing this man invents is an excuse. Take the five-wheeled car. He's been perfecting it for 50 years, but he has yet to find a buyer. The fifth wheel was supposed to make parking a breeze. It didn't catch on, but it did lead to another landmark invention. Brooks stumbled upon it while modifying a station wagon.
So I made some more space, lowered the floor down here, and then put the rear seat facing rear. And as far as I know, this is the first car in the United States with a rear-facing third seat in a station wagon.
And you are partially responsible for making the children of America car sick, is this?
I didn't invent that.
Two heads may be better than one, but are five wheels really better than four? I had to find out.
All right, here we are. Looks a little different so far because you didn't come up to parallel like you normally would, right?
No. I'm going to show you how the parking device works.
All right.
Now you lift it on the fifth wheel. Takes about 7 seconds. And then when it's fully lifted, you put it in forward.
Okay.
And then drive in. And then the back end goes through.
It kind of sways right in there.
Goes right into the curb. The problem is to get the rear end where you want it.
Well, you know, that's a problem we all have, and I'll tell you that. Brooks, I feel like a driving instructor right here. I'll give you a 95 on getting into this parking place, okay?
Thank you.
Ask for it by name, the five-wheel car. We could do this for days and days on end.
Watching LaSalle is really interesting. Don't you feel like you're actually there when history is happening?
Well, maybe not that, but these kids are fascinated by all this, and LaSalle has a pretty good French accent.
He really does. In fact, all day I've heard the kids running around speaking French themselves. Everything is fantastique, fantastique.
They're having a good time now, but wait until tomorrow after they've been out here all night.
Truly, truly. Now, they are having a great time, but now, this is a learning experience, Eric, so I have a quiz for you.
You mean I'm going to learn something?
That's right. What is LaSalle's full name?
Well, it's a long one, and I cannot remember it.
It's René Robert Cavalier Sieur de LaSalle.
That's impressive.
Very good, huh? Okay, now
Next
let me ask you
question.
something else. Which king did he honor?
That's easy, Louis XIV.
Very, very good. And on what date did he actually discover and found Louisiana?
It was in April.
That's right, April the 9th, 1682.
Well, see, now we've learned so much. You know what?
I really have learned a lot, baby.
What I'd like to see is these kids tomorrow morning after they've been out here all night. They're spending the night out here, as we said earlier in the show. And they've been laying on the ground under these little tents with the chiggers and the ants and stuff.
I just hope none of them get scared in the night.
Yo, they probably won't because there'll be so many kids. They'll have a good time. They probably won't sleep a wink.
That's right. 2nd through the 6th grade spent the night here, or will be spending the night here tonight.
I want to have a good time.
Really should. Let's take a look at what's coming up on the show tomorrow.
On Saturday's PM Special Edition, you'll meet Mary Fishback, who's training for the ultimate quest, a chance to compete in the 1984 Olympics.
Then we'll enter a time capsule back to the 15th century and search for Christopher Columbus' lost ship, the Penthouse.
And we'll look for the world's longest suspension bridge. Mighty Mac is over 5 miles long. Well, that's our PM Magazine for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
We hope you'll join us on the Saturday Special Edition tomorrow. And how should we say goodbye?
Go ahead, Madame LaSalle.
Is that right?
Yeah, they liked it.